Welcome to a new edition of the Authentic Leadership Roadshow. My name is Helena de Munk from Oxygen for Leadership, and I am here in this amazing setting in Benalvis with a business partner and actually also a friend of mine, Olivia Verhulst. Mm-hmm. Olivia, welcome on the show, and thank you for welcoming me here in your beautiful house.
Well,
I hope you can also enjoy the scenery. We are looking at Mediterranean Sea, and if you look very good and very close, you might see a part of, is it Marbella?
This is between Marbella and Estepona.
Okay. So as you can probably notice, this is a part of my Andalusian Roadshow that I'm very proud to introduce to you this summer. As you know, the purpose of our Authentic Leadership Roadshow is to connect you as future or junior or experienced women leader with women role models, women that are positive to share their story in an authentic way, that share their learnings with you. And I'm very happy that we have you here, Olivia.
I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome. Thanks for inviting me, returning, and hope to help as much as I can.
Absolutely. So let's just start a little bit with a little bit more information about who you are and where you come from, where you are now, so people can relate with that.
I'm Olivia Verhulst, Belgian as well. La Rubia Belga, the Belgian blonde. That's how I present myself here. Actually, I now dedicate most of my time as a mentor because I want to basically make a difference to professional women. And as a woman, I connect, inspire, support, enable them by leveraging my 20 plus years international expertise as a professional recognized to deliver constructive support with a smile.
Okay.
This is
the smile
me.
Is your trademark.
This is my, yes, this is me. This is me. It's usually coming before myself.
Great. So you say 20 plus years of professional experience. Where does your professional career start?
Well, actually, I can say I started working as soon as I walked because I was raised in a family business. So it was natural. I mean, the house and the store was pretty much mixed. So as soon as I walked, I started helping. It was a retail fashion business. So putting hangers back, giving things, helping. When I was 8, I think I was in contact with the public for the first time in the Galerie Toison d'Or in Brussels. I was greeting customer coming, and if they were having trouble with the wrong size, I was giving them. And then I think I was
amazing.
12 when for the first time I was the whole day long on my own in the store. I was looking older.
That's still amazing.
But yes, so when I started my career with Deloitte, after studying business and administration, I already had a career before me.
You knew what it was to work, to interact with other people.
Yeah. So I had been in business to consumer before. So I wanted to go to business, enter audit. And then after Deloitte, I joined Citibank, where I made most of my career, and I had the opportunity to travel, learn, meet amazing people.
You also worked in New York when you worked for Citibank?
I worked in London, I worked in New York. Great time. Then it was time for me to come back. I had turned 40. And so I came back to Belgium, and eventually I met Mr. Right.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So I was, after 3 years as internal audit and control head for Citibank Belgium, I decided to take a sabbatical to follow my husband, who had the opportunity to come to Spain. And it was a good decision. Take time for me. And eventually I decided to do what I, after all, always wanted to do mentoring, because I was doing it naturally. As I kept saying, it's like rock and roll. It's an attitude. But if you want to professionalize, you better, well, get some training. And so I eventually had the opportunity to collaborate with the European Mentoring and Coaching Council as a volunteer first, and then when they started in Spain, They had their first program accredited, so I went through that program, and I'm now an accredited mentor with them, and I keep collaborating with them.
Okay.
And here I am working mostly through Skype with mentees from different parts of mainly Europe.
Europe. Okay. Now let me go back in time. So you started your career at Deloitte. And then you moved to Citibank, and in Citibank you had these international opportunities, London, New York. It's not easy just to pick up your stuff and go to London or go to New York. What was the context for you, and what triggered you to do that?
Well, actually, in London, I basically worked about a year, but I was commuting to London. My house was in Brussels, so I was leaving first Monday morning, but that's a killer. So Sunday night and coming back Friday night. So I was kind of commuting. Some people go to work in the bus. I was going to work with a plane.
Okay. So actually you had your professional life in London, but you had your social life in Belgium.
Yeah, a little. Not much at the time. It was for the Y2K and the introduction of the Euro project.
Okay, so very,
interesting
very
time.
hardworking.
Kind of, yeah. I will.
If you look back at that right now, any things where you say I could have done that different, or with what I know now, I might have done it differently?
Oh, probably, but all in all, I have no regrets. So I'm happy with the career and the way I had things. Of course, you can always do things better. I keep saying, at the time you make a decision based on the information you had at the time, you made the right decision. Of course, later on, you get to learn things and it gives you another perspective. Yeah. But at the time, you didn't have the information. So,
So what you're saying is it's not fair to look back and to judge with what you know now, all the decisions that you make in the past.
No, just you know, you know at the time that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So no regret. Of course, you should try to seek a way to get the best information. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So you can make the best decision. But no, that's I don't think I would do things differently.
Okay. Yeah. And then from commuting to London, you left for New York. I guess you didn't commute there.
No. It's the time of the Concorde was over by then, because in those days we had some executives who were doing it.
Really?
Like, yes, we're having their family in New York, working in Brussels, but these are other times. In New York, yes, I left just before I turned 40. I turned 40 over there, and it was just an amazing experience.
What did you learn there? Because you were there on your own.
I was on my own.
You were single?
Single.
A single Belgian woman in New York?
Yes, it's an amazing... The thing is, if you have a family, it's kind of easy to go back to your place if you live in another country, because you have your nucleo close to you. If you're on your own, you have to build things, new relation and things discover. But New York is just an amazing city. In the beginning it was like this, but I realized it's just an amazing place to be, and people are very nice actually. I was never afraid to go to a place because I knew I would meet people I met. Manhattan is small. It's 1.5 kilometers wide after all. It's over 1 million people in Manhattan, so it's like Brussels to some extent.
Yeah.
And you have people from all over. It's just you can meet just amazing people. The difference with New York and the rest of the world, it's just when you say it's just like, you know, so close. Everything is so close.
Yeah, you think it's huge, but it's small basically.
It is. Yeah. It's a small city.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just because I had something in my throat that I tried to avoid for the video, but. Thank you. I'm having it anyway.
This is being in the nature.
Yeah, I know. It's Sorry. Anyway, so what was your main learning being
In New
a
York,
single professional in New York in an intercultural environment, I guess?
well, it taught me about, I guess, building relations, the importance of networking. Actually, it's in New York, so in the beginnings of the 2000, I was going to a lot of conferences or chats, and there was one on networking, and I came out of that conference, and I thought, gosh, this guy, he's making money talking about networking. This is something I do naturally all the time, but this guy is making money out of that. And I realized how important networking is, and how you do it after all, because it's easy to meet people, but networking is not just a collection of business cards. So how you treat people, how you manage people, how you give forward, which is something I learned there as well, I guess. I realized how important it is, how you build relation, which is important. Probably this is one of the important lessons I got from there.
And what's your main advice then for people, for our audience, in terms of how to network or what to get out of networking?
First and for all, be yourself. I mean, you're an authentic leadership coach, so I mean, you understand what that means. Being yourself is really the rule number one. Recently, I heard, be the best version of yourself. Allow yourself to be the best version of yourself, which is much more powerful. So this is first. Then don't be afraid to give forward, because I found out, I mean, I have that disease to please. But giving forward is something natural. For me, I rather give than receive, and it's easy to do, for me at least. And then people are so happy to give you back. So this is what networking is about as well, building that relationship, that leveraging. Of course, I mean, there are two things that are important. You have to be open to network with anybody, because you don't know what can come good. But also sometimes you have to be focused.
Yeah.
You have to try to target, when you go to a conference, well, you have to get prepared, see if there are any people who are interesting for you to meet, and you have to get prepared, searching, and so you have to do both, be open and focus.
Yep.
So you have to find the right balance.
Okay, thank you for that. Olivia, you were not only a single Belgian in New York, you were also a professional career woman in Citibank, a large US corporation in difficult times, 2000s, with a lot of issues and challenges, making your way there as a woman, as a foreigner. How did that go?
Well, actually, I was lucky enough to never feel too much a difference of treatment, because in the position I had, which were not like, I've never been responsible of a P&L. I mean, I was like in support function, auditing, compliance, information security. So I was less exposed. I was less exposed. And I was lucky enough, for half of the time in New York, I was working for a European. So a person I knew, not a very handsome man, but a very, very good person.
Was he your mentor?
He was not my mentor, he was my boss. In Citibank, I don't think, there were people important to me, who helped me, but he was not one of my, I mean, yes, he helped me because he was a great boss, and that's important. I was so lucky. I have to say I have had a number of really good boss, which
is it luck, or Did you choose them in some way, or did you just manage up in a way?
You know, once I have been a single for a long time, and once I was asked, is that a choice or is it the circumstance of life? And I thought about it a few seconds and I said, I think I chose the circumstance.
Okay.
And I guess professionally it's a little similar.
Yeah.
It's a little similar. In terms of mentor, I don't know if I had real ones, but I had people supporting me. But I can't help. I guess maybe that's also one of the reasons I wanted to be a mentor, because it's to give something I haven't had that formally.
Yeah. Okay. Were you actively looking for like a role model or a sponsor or somebody that supported you in the organization?
I don't think so, because I was not aware of the importance of it at the time.
Yeah. So if you could do that over, you might be looking for
maybe. Although I said that I have no regret, because I learned it by myself, which is important as well.
Absolutely.
It's the only way to learn something is by experience. So now, as I said earlier, the same way when you make a decision, you have to try to get the best information. Well, try to look for your way.
Yeah. So if you work with younger women as a mentor in your present role, what's the main advice that? Let me ask it differently. What are their challenges?
Okay, I have to say that like over the last year or so, a number of the women I've been mentoring were kind of their 40s, in that period of time of, and now what? Most of us have gone through that time. Around 40, you finally kind of know what you don't want, that's for sure, and what you want. But about what you want, sometimes it's still not clear. So I have been helping women blooming their own self, getting out of their own closet, as I could say it, without any other meaning. And actually, I have to say, that's what New York helped me. I got out of my own closet.
Yeah.
Because I had my story in Belgium and my rig bag, and when I came to New York, nobody knew me. They just saw me with my smile, nice person, and I could start from scratch, so to speak.
You had no history that
I had
people judged you on.
Exactly. So
like
they took me as I was, not as they thought I was.
Yeah.
So
is there a way to create that blank new page even without going to New York?
Well, I guess it's more difficult, but most important is the mindset, I guess. Because if you don't have the surrounding to help you to change your mindset, you have to find a way to get there. The mindset is, I guess, most important. Have a positive one, which is something fairly characteristical for me, helps a lot.
Helps a lot, yeah.
Helps a lot.
So let's go back to your mentees. You say, okay, I work with women who figured out what they do not want, and they have some idea of what they want. I'm not sure if that's a 40-something thing, because I work with a lot of women leaders that have the same, but I see it also with younger people. I meet a lot of younger women who have the same, like, I don't want this, but I'm not sure what's the alternative. So how do you work with them? How do you how do you make them open the closet?
Well, actually, and one of the most important thing in mentoring is listening to people. I mean, this is the basic. And not only listening, but listening with not an active listening only, but with a lot of love to some extent. Bienveillance, we say in French, which is being sensitive to the person and listening. And beyond listening, you have to ask questions. I mean, like a coach, I mean, sometimes you don't say things naturally, so you have to get it out. So that's why asking questions is so important. Then trying to be creative and make connections. I'm telling stories. I said, oh, this reminds me of my story. This happened to me, and this is how you can sometimes inspire people as well. I mean, by referring. This is how it works. An important thing, really, as well in that kind of role is the trust, because without trust, nothing exists, and. Actually, mentoring in the way I define it today is very much a definition that has been inspired by gurus of the profession, David Clutterberg and Kirsten Poulsen. It's an alliance of mutual trust, learning, and development between someone with supposedly more experience, the mentor, who's ready to share more than knowledge, perspective, whatever, with someone who's less experienced, the mentees, who's seeking development on a personal and professional level. This definition could fit to some type of leadership coaching as well, but I mean, and there are as many definitions as mentors or coach, but it's a two-way road.
Yeah, this is building the fundament for the learning. Yeah.
Yes,
I like that. If I look at the taking that away from a coaching or a mentoring context and putting it in an organizational or a management context, I think it's also something very important to learn for our junior leaders, for our audience, basically,
it is.
How to build this trust and this foundation where your team can learn. So what would you give as like an advice to people who are looking to install that?
Okay, I'm not a mother, but I realize that a manager is pretty close to a parent role, because you're responsible for your staff. You have to transmit more than knowledge. I mean, as a manager, you're a natural mentor. That's why I say mentoring. I've always been doing it, and it's like an attitude. It's like rock and roll. It's an attitude. I think that trust is first of all, do as you say and say as you do. Being straight in that sense, and looking after your people to keep developing them. I think this is important. One of my boss, an American one, used to say he hated that attitude of the biking guy who was folding the shoulder and pushing underneath. No, he used to say, I like to see my staff as flowers, and I give them water so that they can bloom, and that's the way to push me up. And I think this is a really nice way to put it.
A nice metaphor.
A nice metaphor, yes.
And how do you build that trustful relationship?
First of all, again, listening. Listening to people. You're not the one. They are.
It's about them.
It's about them.
Yeah.
But it's about us as well. How can we grow together?
Yeah.
So respect is fundamental. As an internal audit and control head, I used to have two teams. I was having my office in the audit team, about 15 at the end, and I had in another floor 3 teams, making a total of 55, I think. Every single morning, one of the first things I was doing was saying hello to everybody. Audit I knew. Internal control, there were stuff I didn't know. So management by walking was my way to get to know if there was a problem around, to sense and to get people, to get to know people. Because at school I was taught a company is a set of human and capital. Human is put before capital, and those human and capital have a common objective. So a set of human capital with a common objective. The humans are making the organization. Absolutely. So you have to build a relationship with the people, and you read it all over. When people are happy, they do a better job.
Yeah, and that happiness is created by the connection, by the interaction,
and
by
the trust, the caring.
Yeah.
I think, and frankly speaking, it's much nicer to work in that condition for everybody. It's it asks you less effort, but to me at least. It's raised less tension. I mean, and things are so much smoother. Not that everything is always easy. I mean, but that's the way it worked for me.
Now, you said you were covering the audit department, and that you knew. You were also covering another department where you did not really were the expert. That's basically a situation that I have so often with my coaching clients, and actually we have a leadership lab on that. I will put a link to that also on the page with the video. But
it was very interesting what was said then.
So you recognized that, where you had to lead a team,
absolutely,
and take responsibility for an expertise area that was not really yours. How did you do that? What clicked for you in order to feel comfortable and do a professional job there?
The importance is the team you have. One of the main women at a high position in Citibank said once, it's very important to have a good team you can rely upon. This is how you can reach balance as well. But I mean, when I came back from New York and accepted the job in Brussels, one of the reasons was because the number two was someone I knew very well and was running. I knew she was running the department for a long time. So it was like, it was an offer on a golden plate. And this is really, really important to have a team you can rely on, because you're not alone.
Yeah,
you're not alone. And actually, that you're not alone in terms of leadership. More and more often, and David Clutterberg, among others, says that most leadership tasks can be done by everybody. Very few leadership tasks can the leader only do. And this is how collaborative management is developing so easily. This is and this is start with listening to people.
Absolutely. Now I can hear people think now already, that's easier said than done, having a good team, because sometimes you just inherit a team.
Absolutely.
So what do you do there?
Well, you try to find a way to see why the people are not so good. Because there is always a reason. Maybe they had a bad history, or maybe there was a bad relation with the previous manager, or so on. So just look at people to see how you can improve the situation individually. I think that's a first step. And if there is really no way,
then you have different conversations.
Yes, then you have to see how you can move things. When you're not happy with the situation, I'm not the kind of person who can live with it long. I have to make a change. And it has to start from you. So as a manager, you have to make a decision and say, okay, listen, this is really not working. We tried it. We can try to set a plan. If it's not working, you have to make a decision.
But your first step is to be curious and without judgment. That's, can I translate it like that?
Absolutely. Without judgment. I was lucky enough, I guess it's my mother who transmitted that. Take people as they are, not judging them. Take them as they are.
And find ways to tap into their potential and make them blossom, like you do now as a mentor, as well.
I try.
Amazing, great. So what does the future have for you? What are your next projects or plans?
Well, one project that I would really like to make happen is that I really like to keep on helping professional women. You can hear all over how important it is to develop female talent. And there are some stuff that are moving in big organizations, but small organizations are have a tougher time for that. So kind of a project I would like to put together is helping SMEs developing their female talent, and would offer them a way to do that by offering mentoring, coaching, training, whatever is needed. But since they won't have the money for it, find ways to finance it. And there are two ways you can finance it. Either go to using public finance. There are lines that exist. You have to find them. I'm trying to find them. To use those financing, whether from the EU Commission or regions, funding, public funding. And you also have business angels, because there are also some business angels that are women oriented. So that's what kind of I'm trying to work on. It's going very slowly, but so offering SMEs program to develop their female talent, and offering at the same time the financing, combining public and business angel.
SMEs here in Spain or all over Europe?
I live here in Spain. I guess it would be easier to start, but I'm Belgian, so I have business relations there as well. And I'm a European, so the world is a village. It's a village nowadays. So, and professional women now all over.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice. I wish you all the best with this new project. I guess if you have any ideas about supporting Olivia with this project, just get in touch. Yep. If you are interested in finding out more about mentorship for you or for other people in your organization or for friends, just get in touch. Yeah. So what's the best way to contact you, Olivia?
Well, I guess by email. I am also in LinkedIn, Olivia Verhulst in Marbella. There aren't that many. Okay. So there you go. Yes, you can reach out either by email, Olivia Verhulst, at gmail.com, and in LinkedIn as well.
Okay, so you have no excuse not to do that. Olivia is very visible on social media. I will make sure the link to her email address is also on the page. And I hope that you had some inspiration on how you can boost your own professional and personal life and your growth using mentorship, using sponsorship, using coaching. So feel free to come to Olivia or to me, depending on what you're looking for. So thanks for watching. Looking forward to see you again. Keep following us and take care. Enjoy summer and enjoy life.
Yes, enjoy. Bye. The most important.
Absolutely.
Bye now.
Thank you so much. Bye.